Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever this message may find you. It is your girl, G's Louise, back with another message. How are y'all doing? I wanted to touch bases on Malcolm X versus Martin Luther King, right? And, you know, men, a lot of men are, and women, not just men, but a lot of men and women are hurt. You know, we're all either self-destructing or we're healing. There's no real in between. And I say that because you're either trying to get better or you're staying the same. And when you are on your Martin Luther King, right, and you're trying to heal from whatever wounds, like there are so many things and so many situations that arise as you grow from adolescence or from the womb up until an adult, right? There's so many mistakes that you make. Like if you're a human being and you walk in this earth, you've made a mistake, right? 9 times out of 10, you've made a mistake, right? And sometimes those mistakes hurt or they cost you. Sometimes they can cost you your life. They can cost somebody else's life. But you can't undo them. You know what I mean? Like once it's happened, it's happened. And I say Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X because I don't know how you guys view it, but I view Malcolm X as like fight with violence, Martin Luther King fight with love, right? And while we are all faced with certain situations, as you mature, right, you begin to realize that your strength does not come from your ability to react in a violent way. Your strength comes from your ability to walk away and redirect the energy into something else, right? And sometimes we get defeated, right? Because we're human. We make mistakes and we learn from those mistakes if we're healing. It's important that when you are healing, you surround yourself with other people that are healing. Because the moment that you let your guard down and you're around people that may not know what that means to be healing, they might not even be in that space, right? And it's not to say that you should be angry with them. Like when you get to a certain level of maturity, you don't want to be angry. You know, you don't want to be mad. I look so, is it just me? But I am like killing it with the gray right quick. Like my maturity is coming out through my hair. Clearly. I'm gonna fix it. I don't worry about it. I'll make this all look like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm 20 cell instead of 30 cell. Well, anyway, um I I just wanted to touch on this because I don't want this to be long because I don't want you to lose the point. The point is, if you're healing, get with people that are healing. You know what I mean? Like, because y'all can help each other heal. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you hanging around people that are not on their healing journey and they still think that their strength is in their ability to fight back. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't stand in who you are. And I'm not saying that violence doesn't come about and that you will never have to use violence as an alternative. I mean, but I believe in putting myself in places where I don't have to resort to that. And people always like to argue with me, but I don't argue. I don't like politics. I don't like to debate. My first debate ever in class, it was an organized debate. And I literally, it's an epic fight. People, when I see them, they still bring it up. If I see niggas that I went to high school with, they be like, damn, Julie, you fight dudes. Like, I'm remembered this way, right? It's not something I'm proud of at all. Trust me. I'm only telling you this because it was the first debate that we had, an organized debate. All of our desks were in a circle. And it was early in the year, too. I was going to East Mecklenburg High School. I wasn't even pregnant yet because I got pregnant in the 9th grade and had my daughter, Anaya. But, yeah, I got in a fight. I got in a whole fight with a dude named Brad. Shouts to Brad. And got suspended because of the way I was conducting myself, and I was young. I was in the 9th grade. So, of course, I was, I was just not mature. So, we fought because I don't do debates. You know what I'm saying? Because you're entitled to how you feel about things. And so am I. I don't want to fight over it. I don't want us to fight over somebody else's life. I don't want to fall out with you because you think Chris Brown is the shit and you think Rihanna deserved it and I think Rihanna didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like those type of discussions because I'm going to feel how it is that I feel. You know what I'm saying? And I just I'm not into it. So, but I don't want our young men to think that violence is strength. Violence is a tool that is used to defend yourself. And just be always able to defend yourself. Make sure that you're able. But don't make that your go-to. It's only a tool. It's not a lifestyle. Doesn't make you gangster. And I think a lot of people need to go back and look at what gangster really means. Because when you see an OG doesn't mean that, it doesn't only mean that you were able to knock a nigga out. Like, what was your reasoning behind it? There's a lot of violence that has occurred that it's not respected because of the way the way the situation went. So regardless if it's respected or not, and you do lose your cool or not, you get defeated or not, the point is you either on your Martin Luther King or you're on your Malcolm X. And let's please be reminded that both of them got shot. So it doesn't matter. But I can say this. It costs you more to live a life of turmoil and violence and fighting and being at odds and holding grudges and being mad and having attitudes and playing victim to everything and saying, this other person is the reason why you reacted a certain type of way. Because that's kind of like giving your power away. That's saying you allow other people to dictate your actions. And again, while we know that can be hard, again, the strength lies in you having the ability to not react in a way that's only going to make things worse. And you always have think about it. When you fuck somebody up, how do you feel afterwards versus how do you feel after you did something that you normally wouldn't do, which would be walk away or ignore it or don't or become unbothered by. Though, like it almost feels like a victory, a silent victory, right? But people don't talk about those victories. We don't talk about those. And I do understand the get down and lay down concept. I do. And I do understand that you have to be able to defend yourself. And I do understand that some people don't understand words. They don't understand you walking away. That is at that point, because it's not your fault if you tried to walk away. It's not, nothing's your problem. What happens after you've done all you can do to refrain from falling into a negative debate or a violent act, like if you were able to sustain from that, like if you tried and you can't, like then they just won't let it be and then you have to handle them, then it's different. But you tried. And in most cases, some of the times when men, I'm speaking of men especially, but men and women, when you react sometimes like that, it's like, I want to say 80% of the time, that other person, it wasn't equal. You know, it wasn't, what's the word I'm looking for? Like that other person wasn't a real threat. Does that make sense? Like they weren't a huge threat to you to where you had to handle them like that. So think about those things. Go within, question yourself before you go on making excuses for your actions when they weren't probably justified, you know. And again, I want everybody to get, I'm not against the MalcolmX way. Okay, I'm not against it. I'm just saying we have to have control. When you've always done Malcolm X, why not try Martin Luther King? You know, try something different. And know that your strength does not lie in your abilities to lash out. It lies in your ability to walk away, to hold yourself from doing something that you may regret. People get killed. And this is a perfect example of how some kids made a decision to beat that young girl up. I forgot her name. Everybody knows her name. I'm sorry, but I don't know her name. But the girl that got murdered in Mexico. Like, that's a perfect example of you not choosing wisely who you're around. You know, people bringing out the worst in you. And they're like, for them, they didn't have to fight her. You know what I mean? She didn't even want to fight. So was that fair? Then you, not only did you fight her, you killed her. And people don't realize you could kill somebody from punching them the wrong way, punching them this way, this way. You know, if you hit them the right way in their temple, some people have aneurysms and they bust when you hit them. Like, you never know when you can catch a murder charge because you didn't think. And then when you do that shit, you be thinking like, damn, was it that serious? Was it that serious? Even when a nigga hurt you, because I just went through that. I wanted to kill somebody. But it's like, I really went back and forth with myself. Like, okay, you and do that. Whatever it takes. Because after you're not mad no more, or after your emotions blow over, you really look back and you're like, whew, it wasn't that serious. And if you think, it's hardly ever that serious. A lot of the things that have went down in our communities when it comes to violence, it don't be that serious. It's a pride and ego thing. That's never a reason to be violent. Goodfellas, they had rules. Real gangsters, they had rules. And if they got violent, it was justified. Think about it, okay? Till next time, I wish you guys peace, health, wealth, and the time to enjoy them all.